All right. You know what it is. I apologize for being a little late, getting technical difficulties in order, and I want to really apologize to Aisha Hall for being patient. You know what I mean? But we getting ready to rock out. Now, today is Prison Talk and Street Chronicles. I dropped the Street Chronicles earlier when I was on 152nd Street. That was a little flashback to take you back how we did things back in my days. You know what I mean? We ain't living the past. We just having fun with the past and informing the youth about the past because that's our history, whether we want to admit it or not. When I was a screw up, that's who I was, and that's what gave me my name. That's what gave me a life sentence, and that's what made me have to rehabilitate myself to come back home to be able to try and give you something. So we trying to give it to you now. So none of this is going to be to glorify prison life, street life, or any kind of negative life. This is just to explain to you and let you hear certain situations that go down on the inside and how it go down so you know don't get involved, don't break the law, and respect these people's law, man, because you're law-abiding citizens. So we having our little prison talk. So we got Aisha. When Larry come in, let me know. He's not getting. How you doing, Aisha?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. You want to introduce yourself and let them know who you are? You know, Queen Gangstress.
Definitely not a gangstress, but um yes, my name is Aisha Hall. Thanks for having me on your show, by the way. I appreciate, you asking me to participate. So here I am, right, on talking about prison stories and prison talk. And a lot of people look at me and they say, "What you know about prison?" You know? But I went to prison. I was sentenced to 126 months, which is 10 and a half years. And I came home to the halfway house in 2017. So I've been out of the halfway house now for 2 years. And, I just been on my grind ever since. I did a lot of time. And not that time is not difficult for males and females, but 10 years for a woman is a little bit different, than for a man. It's
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate in our culture, our men, we're just used to them, unfortunately, getting bids. But you don't really hear about girls getting that kind of time, getting double digits. And, being in the feds, I met a lot of boss, boss chicks. You know what I
Tell them
mean?
again.
Um, and they move different than even the dudes. When girls go to certain levels, they so solid. You know what I'm saying? And I have a new respect for women. A lot of girls be like, I don't mess with girls. I don't deal with girls. But when you get in that situation and you get around a certain type of female, oh yeah, you definitely want a chick like that in your life. So, anything you
Well,
want to know
excuse me.
about my experience,
What's
I'm
the
willing
chick
to talk
like
about
that?
it. That's
Explain to them who's the chick like that.
a chick like that, like that's fearless. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna, not back down because there's risk involved. Because those characteristics can be, transmuted to other things in life. Making her a good mother, making her a good wife, making her just, a good business partner. She's just fearless and she's not corny. She's not a gossiper. She about her business. And
Mm-hmm.
I have not really encountered girls like that in the street, but in prison, yo, they just a different breed. You tend to group up with girls who have similar time. So the short timers kind of stay together, and then the people with more time kind of stay together. So you start to find a lot of similarities. I don't know. There's so many different aspects. I don't know what part you want to get into first,
Now
but
you in the right aspect. I mean, you talk about the prison life and the sex. We all with that. You know what I mean? Now I'm
hmm
gonna tell you what I heard, and you let me know if this is what it is. You know what I mean?
okay.
Now they had a little little prison thing so that we could email the females on the other side. Da, 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 da. And you know me, I'm a straight direct old cocky kingpin, so I let them know straight up. I want a girl that got a girl. You know what I mean? I mean straight up. You know, if you ain't got a girl, then I definitely don't need you because you ain't got nothing to bring to my life that I already don't have on the outside.
Now hold up. You
All
have
right.
to clarify
Mm-hmm.
what kind of girl that you want your girl to have. Because in prison, the femme on femme thing is not a big deal. It's not, that's not what's popping. What's popping is these girls are looking for men, because a lot of the girls that come into prison, they never messed with a girl before. They've never been with a girl before. They so thirsty for a dude. So the first woman they see that has any type of male characteristics, they forget that it's a girl and they latch on to her like she's a dude. And you can see exactly how they ended up in prison, chasing behind a dude, because they follow behind these chicks the same way. So I'm gonna give you a scenario, right? So where I was at in Alderson, it's like all of these, it's a big open dorm, and then we separated into cubes. And if you have a wall cube, you have windows. So there's a window that's on the side of the yard. So we would hear from the laundry department, because they have to prepare clothes, like, uniforms and stuff, whenever there's a new group of women coming in. So you kind of get a heads up from the girls at laundry, like, oh, it's the plane came in from Oklahoma, that's the hub, or there's a bus coming in or whatever. So a lot of people start looking for their friends. They want to know whose name was on the list, especially if they was a transfer. So they want to know, like, oh, my homegirl that I was with at Aliceville is transferring. Is she on that run? So everybody's looking at names, right? But what they really looking for, if there's any studs on there.
Tell them like it is, girl.
You looking out the window, and you see, like, they usually lock us down because it's a new group coming in, and you see them walking up the hill, and all the girls are in the window looking to see who looks the most manly. It's the craziest thing I ever seen.
Oh my God. Give it to them.
They're already preparing how much of their commissary they're going to give up for them. They're already preparing new sweats. They're already preparing new sneakers. And it's like, in the world, we think of, like, a guy takes care of a girl. But in prison, it's the opposite. When you come in and you got that guy energy, or that, that manly look, the girls is going to take care of you.
Ooh,
and
like
actually lining up to see, who's the best looking stud. I've never seen nothing like that. I mean, I did a lot of time, so in the beginning it was kind of strange, but I got used to it over time. You know what I mean? And they actually become the most coveted, people on the compound. It's crazy.
See,
the thirst is real.
Now, it's funny you said that, because it's like you walked right into where my mind was at, and how, that saga in my life played out,
Yeah, but you said you want your girl to have a girl, so it's like, I'm sure you don't want your girl to have a girl that looks like a dude.
But that's where we at. No, but that's what I'm saying. That's the point. So I'm telling them straight up, I want to, chick, they got a chick. You know what I mean? A chick and a chick is two bad bitches. You know what I mean? I want to chick with a chick. You know what I mean? So I'm ready to hear some freak stories, how they turn it up on night. And she gave it to me. And then one day, the little shorty telling me about how she's going to go, make a joint. You know what I mean? So she goes into the details about that. We don't need to go there. But now she come and she tell me, oh, the next day, oh, yeah, I used it on her. You know what I mean? On my roommate and da. So, that thing got me thinking, okay, so then how did it feel when you used it? You the one that made it. She said, no, I just used it on her. And that was a red flag. But I didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? And then later on, when one started falling more for me, you know what I mean? The friend, the had a chick, fell in love with the chick. When she get with me, and she telling me straight up, like, she's a stud. She ain't want to tell you. But she's telling me like a stud is a bad thing. You understand what I'm saying? Because I can't picture what a stud is. Not from where I'm at. It's just the word you're saying now. But she's telling me, but they look at it away in there, I guess, when they openly gay, other than crawling in the closet. You know what I mean? So how does that work with the ones that don't want to admit that they're messing with a stud or whatever, that might want to just spend their money and trick and hide and act like they don't do that and be straight? Does that happen in them?
I'm going to tell you what I've seen. I've seen these girls come in every Sunday. They're at the chapel. Oh, I don't do that, and I'm not into that. And then a couple of months down the line, they asses be turned out too. So, it's like people, I've seen couples of, like, it might be an old Chinese woman and a young Spanish girl. Like, it's just like the weirdest couples. Like, it's just, it's crazy. And, people come in, and then they have to get comfortable. Like they start thinking like, oh, you know, I don't want to show that, or I don't want to reveal that, or I don't want people to know that. But then when they see, you know, Miss
How
Betty
open
that
it
works
is.
at the library is doing the same thing, they start getting comfortable. You know, so I mean, I don't know. For me, it was more like that's just expected. And I'm the type of person that likes to do the unexpected. I don't want to be like everybody else. So it's like I can't say now. I did my 10. Now, had I got to year 11 or 12, I don't know what might happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it a buck. But I'm
Okay,
just
so
saying
you didn't fall victim within the 10.
I
Within
didn't
the 10
fall
was enough to
victim.
hold you out.
Didn't fall victim. But I'm gonna tell you what though. A lot of the girls in there that had girlfriends, they didn't have sexual relationships. They just called it was like this companionship, and sometimes it was like codependency. They would walk around the yard, they might hold hands or eat together, always be together, but some wouldn't go there. You know what I mean? Because women are way more emotional than men. So I would have to say it was about 1,200 women at that particular place. At least half, at least, had girlfriends. At least.
You see? But that's what I'm saying. Girl never told me that she had a stud or that she was a stud. You know what I mean? She had that.
She might have not. Was she a stud in the street?
No. She was a young girl in there. You know what I mean? But,
So
came
they
with
don't
long,
really
pretty
be
hair.
studs. It's a survival thing. If you
Yeah.
know you don't, if prison is expensive, you know what
Break
I'm
that
saying?
down.
So, you
Good
know,
looking out DNF universe.
huh?
No, go ahead, sis. Just had a donation. That's all. Shout out to
Oh,
people.
okay. So prison is expensive, especially for a woman. You know, we have a little bit more needs than men. You need feminine products. You want to keep your hair up. If you at a decent facility, they might let you buy makeup. You know, it's a lot more when you're a woman, things that you need. So, you know, if you have the opportunity to just dress and act like a dude and somebody gonna take care of you, girls will do that who don't really want a woman, but they'll do that just to survive. You know, they call that gay for the stay. You know what I'm saying?
That's the word
So
they kept using. And they was mad at the ones that they said was gay for the stay, the ones that said that they stay in there and they gay because they can't go nowhere. So they kind
right.
of mixed that they
But
get to
then
go out.
the gay for the stay ones sometimes got beef with the real gay ones because they feel like you making a mockery of my lifestyle. You making a mockery of who I really am. It took a lot for me to be able to come out and be what I am or whatever, and you in here faking it just to get by. You know, some of them would take offense to it. So it's just a crazy world in there with the women and you know the ones that are gay from the street. They'll sometimes try to blow their spot up. Bitch, you from my town. I know you. You ain't never been with a girl. Now all of a sudden you come in here and you a whole dude. You know, so sometimes chicks would get their spots blown up. Another big thing was the fights. So the fights between the gay girls were vicious. They were some of the most vicious fights I've ever seen. Now you got girls that fight over stupid stuff, or she thinks somebody stole her commissary, or somebody said something smart. Um, and you do have those type of fights, you know. But then you have the fights between lovers. When you have the fights between lovers, that shit is different. Okay, I done seen people get their teeth knocked out. People boiled honey and threw hot honey from the microwave on somebody's face, literally almost ready to melt their face off.
We call that a cocktail.
Yeah. I seen a girl get her ear sliced off. I've seen girls try to cut themselves. Like they be really into these girls, like, and it's crazy because a lot of the girls, I would say about 75 to 80% of the women are in prison because of a guy. Most of the time they were somebody's girlfriend or they was with somebody and they got them caught up. That's like probably 75, 80% of the girls. So when you see the way they move with the chicks that they look at as dudes, you can see how they got caught up because they go so hard and get so deep into this stuff that's not even real so fast. It's like, damn. You know what I mean? You'll get a chick like to steal out a commissary for you and carry it back to the unit or go to the kitchen and get extra chicken. And, you know, they'll do it for their girl. They'll do all of this stuff to try to, I guess, show they ride or die. And it's not even a serious relationship. And it's like, wow, I see how you got caught up because you was probably doing the same shit in the street for some random dude, you know? So,
Man, that's like so crazy now. They got these two spots Aliceville, Alabama, and Hazleton, West Virginia, where they got the women. You know what I mean? Now, and when we meet a woman from out of there, you know what I mean? I mean, they are. I mean, they just all the way open with their sexuality. They telling me like they having sex under the balcony. You know what I mean? The police walking by, they on the finger on the breaches, fingering each other, and I mean, it's like a fuck fest. Use the language. You know what I mean? I mean, like any man wish he could be there. Like, wow. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, it's like that. I think it's like that in most female prisons. You know.
even in the lows where you was at too, they openly like that,
Yeah,
horny and freaky.
it's worse because there's so many other places you can go. I mean, at a higher security prison, you limit it. Everything's out of bounds. You got 10-minute moves. You can only do so much throughout the day. But at the place where I was at, you can move until count time, which is 4. So you're out from 6:30 until count time at 4:30.
Mm.
And you could be all over the yard. You know, there's a recreation building, there's the laundry building, there's the education building, there's the email building, and then there's different areas on the yard where you can go unsupervised, little cut spots. It's so bad. I don't even. It's not even just a girl on girl. While I was there, over those 10, well, I wasn't there the full 10 years. I was in MDC Brooklyn for the beginning of my sentence. But for the time that I was there, even at MDC, you know how many officers I saw walked off for having inappropriate sexual relationships with the girls there? So it ain't,
dudes,
huh?
dudes you talking about?
Yeah, the officers, the male
Yeah, male
officers.
officer. You know, you got male and female officer. If I'm asking, is female officers screwing too? You know, that's what I'm asking.
I didn't see none of the female officers. Only only the male. I mean, it was so bad at one spot because you know the women at a women's prison, you still have carpentry, you have plumbers, you have HVAC. The girls work every department. You know what I mean? So there's all these little areas for those departments, storage houses, and all this different stuff. So there was one officer who was so bold. This dude had the nerve to bring a mattress from off of one of the bunks into the basement of his office for his, little rendezvous with the girls.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, very crazy.
He don't made a bed.
Huh?
He made a bed down there.
Made a bed.
Oh, he got balls. Big balls.
And he got walked off the compound, but he would always get, reprimanded. They would have like disciplinary hearings, and they would get like suspensions without pay, and then they would always come back. But there was a black officer. You could look this up. His name is Captain Grimes. He was the captain at Alderson, and he was a black captain.
Is he brown skinned? I think Asian or Panamanian.
No.
And kind of fat and walk like this.
No neck.
Yeah, no neck. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They sent him down there to Florida where I was at. I knew he was old freak when I seen him.
He's short.
Yeah.
Big
with
head.
No neck from Brooklyn.
Oh, is he from Brooklyn? I don't know where he's from, but he might be from Brooklyn.
But that's what he's telling us down there. He got no neck, man. He walked like this, like I said. So you know how I know that. Yeah, Grind, but he's a lieutenant now. So I can see him being a captain.
10 years.
Yeah. Okay.
He got sentenced to 10 years for messing around with one of the girls.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's crazy because, he was cool. And I remember when he came there, I don't really feel bad for them when they black and they come in the system and they get caught up in situations like that. Because I feel like it's like you get mad, master turned on you because you was an overseer. Like once you join that system and it's mass incarceration and there's so much injustice and you ready to be part of it, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't really feel bad for you. You should have never been a part of it in the first place. But they did go extra hard on him because I've seen so many white officers get walked off the compound, get sentenced to a year and to get home confinement or do halfway house time. And then they still get their retirement or they just lose their job. I never saw in history somebody get 10 years, for that, for consensual sexual relationship with an inmate. So, they did him extra dirty, but hey, you can't play in a dirty system. Sometimes you get dirty,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, now, they want to know what was you down for, and was you in the state of the feds? Those were two of the questions that they asked on the side.
Okay, so I was in the feds. I had a federal case, and my charge was conspiracy to commit wire fraud. I had a company. I was young. I was like 23, 24 years old, and I was trading commodities, setting up, large financial transactions between different companies in different countries. Make a long story short, in about 10 months, I made like $10 million, and I was changing the information on documents to help my clients qualify for, whatever trading deals they were trying to do. They would have these crazy requirements like 20 million, 50 million, 100 million. They had to be their net worth in order to participate. So I came up with a way to make them look like they was worth more than what they were, so they could qualify. And I would charge them 100 grand, 200 grand, sometimes $1 million. It just depended on whatever it is that they wanted. If I saw they was going to get big money in the end, I was going to get my cut too. So I had a client go into the bank, show that documentation, and try to get a loan against it, when in reality he was only supposed to use it to do his trading business. Then it would have never been a problem. But because you're trying to borrow money from somebody and you're using false documents as your proof, then that screwed it up. And he ended up getting red flagged, and they flagged my account, saw I had all that money, froze it, and I had a whole black staff. You know what I mean? We was getting big bread, like sometimes $1-2 million a month. And we was killing the game. We had changed the whole game because there's not really a lot of blacks in that field. So we was killing the game. And here goes somebody fucking it up, being extra, being thirsty, and it came back on me. And they told me that I had committed conspiracy to commit wire fraud, which is receiving money through wires with an illegal intent, basically. And my lawyer said, "Oh, you probably get like a year or two," and I ended up getting sentenced to 10.5 years. So I finished my full bid, minus my good time. And while I was away, I just, when you go to prison, you learn if you are bossed by accident because you just fell into the right situation, or if that's really who you are. And while I was away, I learned that's really who I am. Because as soon as actually, let me rephrase. Before I went to prison, I stopped that business and I started buying gold in Africa, in Sierra Leone. I didn't have any money. I mean, no money. I say like 50 grand. And I used my last bit of money to send a team to Africa and start buying gold dust from Sierra Leone. Make a long story short, I flipped that 50 to like 1.25 million in maybe 9 weeks. So I was like, I'm back. You know what I mean? Like, y'all took that, I'm back. Because really running high level business is the same. It's just the product is different or the service is different. So once you got the formula, you can apply it to anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think that just made them mad because, when they come for you, they know who you are and they want to break you. So when they came for me with that one business, I flipped to another business, and I took some guys, they were street hustlers, and that's who I wanted on my team. I wanted aggressive people who were smart, who were thinkers, who were risk takers, who were innovators, and I bring them on the team with me, and we made a killing. And I don't think they like that too much because we ain't supposed to make a killing. If it was drugs, then maybe they'd have gave me a break because it's like, oh, they're a bunch of niggas. This is what they do. You know what I mean? If there have been some credit card scamming, oh, they're a bunch of niggas. This is what they do. But we was in Wall Street business. You know what I mean? We was affecting the market. Dealing with huge transactions that I didn't ever see any other black people dealing with. We were young. We were aggressive. We were intellectuals, but we was also street. You know what I mean? So I moved how I moved. I made a little bit of a spectacle, always pulling up in a Bentley, walking in a jewelry store. I got bodyguards with me. I just wanted to, and I got along with everybody I came in touch with, because it's like, yeah, you could do this too. This could be you. I wasn't the type to be like, I'm different than you, or I'm better than you. It was, I'm representing what you could be. You know what I mean? So my team just kept growing. You know, I was inspiring people, and they was like, oh, fuck this bitch. She's going down. So they came and they got me, and I got sentenced, like I said, to 10.5 years. And the entire time I did my bid, I wrote books. I've written like maybe 13 or 14 books.
You know what time this is. Unique, the Harlem legend, the icon, the kingpin. Make sure y'all check out my YouTube channel at Unique Mecca Audio. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you like my joints. Make sure you comment on the joints. And make sure you share this joint. Alright? Make sure you hit the notification button so you notify when the videos come in. You don't want to miss it. And make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Unique Mecca Audio got it going on. Alright? Hey, make sure you get this joint. It's bananas. A Roaring Harlem at aroaringharlem.com. You ain't gonna find another better book. Yo, get this joint while supplies last, because I'm telling you, the best book you're gonna read, 5 stars, it's crack.